Happy Thursday, everybody. Brand new week, end of the week. And here we are, times like this, I'm getting all thrown off here. I'm so excited about coming up here on our Oxford 250 time. Clean air is good, times like this. Dirty air just a tad bit better. Good evening, everybody. My name is Rodney Rodriguez. Diving in right here after the ladies right there after Cars Tour Weekly. And this show, I mean, you guys know it. You've been following along all month, and we have been very heavy. We have been all about the Oxford 250 that has been coming up, or that is coming up this weekend. I mean, it is here. And we've got a show this evening where we're going to dive in. Derek Griffith is going to dive in here in just probably about 3 or 4 minutes. We're going to talk to him live. I mean, he's there. By the way, he did set the pace today in practice day. And then coming up bottom of the hour, depending where you're checking in, whether it be 7:30 Eastern or 6:30 Central, we'll have Phil Whipple that's going to dive back in, and we will get the most comprehensive preview of the 250 that you're going to find anywhere, because he has been there throughout the week. So he's going to get us in and get us all up to date with everything that may have been going on throughout the last couple of days. And like I said, boots on the ground. Phil has been the MVP for Rodney Rodriguez Racing, Rodney Rodriguez Sports, Dirty Air. I mean, he has been the guy, and a huge thanks to him. As always, a show presented by Rogers Dabb Chevrolet, GM Performance. My great folks right there, super excited. Coming up next weekend, Labor Day weekend, I'll be heading to Jackson, Mississippi for the All-American 60 that these folks are putting on, the 12th annual event at Jackson Motor Speedway. And remember, if you're looking for those crates, you see them right there, the 602 and the 604. Best price that you're going to find in the nation. It is Rogers Dabb Chevrolet, GM Performance. Reach out to them, reach out to me, and we will get you all hooked up with all of the details on how you need to get a hold of them and get your hands on some of those crates. It doesn't matter what you're doing, whether you're short track racing. I know we got a lot of hot rodders that check in that message me asking about crates, but we'll get all of that information to you. Rogers Dabb Chevrolet, GM Performance. Going to the hotline for the first time tonight, and this is super excited. This is super exciting for me because the timing of this works out perfect with everything that happened today. This is the man. All of the talk coming out of Oxford Plains so far today. DG12 on the hotline. Derek Griffith, how we doing, sir?
I'm good, guys. How are you?
Doing well, man. It seems like you're doing really well, my friend. Talk me through your day, kind of following along there on Race Monitor, and I look up and I'm like, well, I'll be damn. Look who's up at the top of the charts.
Yeah. We unloaded with an old set of tires and ran on those most of the day, and then put a set on to close off the day. And I think we were fastest even with our old set, so I can't complain, man. The car is super consistent. It's got a ton of speed. It's probably the best I've been at Oxford in a very long time, so pretty cool to unload. And we had a little bit of a rough race at Berlin where we got tore up, and we, over the last 10 days, we just put so much time and effort into just making sure this thing was as good as it could be. So I'm real happy that it's paying off.
Oh, man, what a great start. And Derek, it really does look like, I mean, just entry list and just everything that we've been talking about throughout the month, man. This, obviously a crown jewel, no doubt about it. But this year, man, that is a stacked field of you guys out there. Kind of talk about that part, man. It's the best of the best this weekend.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you got some heavy hitters coming, and obviously, I don't think the weekly guys get enough credit too. I mean, They're some of the best racers in the Northeast. Run this place weekly and win races here, and they've been here for a long time. So, the Oxford 250 is such like a lottery too. Sometimes people can find luck every year or make their own luck, and they end up running really good. So, it's such an interesting race. It's so different than the Derby. It's so different than all the other crown jewel races across the country in so many different ways. But it definitely is a heck of a field, and I'm excited just to throw my hat in the ring and hope to have a shot at running good.
No doubt. And Derek, I think part of it is the more that I learn about it, I mean, being down south over here, it really seems like, I mean, so much of this, like you talk about right there, a lot of it is racing the track. I mean, this is a whole different, with the Derby, it's going to grind the tires up, it's going to do whatever, you have all of that. But so much of this with what you're dealing with there at Oxford Plains, that's kind of part of the battle right there is to be able to be able to hang with the racetrack, it seems like.
Yeah, definitely, and it is crazy to watch and see that even the most over prepared people in racing can come here and just be off. So it's one of those racetracks that it doesn't make a lot of sense, but you can have some Maine hillbilly roll his car out of the woods or out of a barn that's been sitting there all year and go and beat a guy, like Bubba Pollard or if some of the Cup guys came and sometimes they don't have the same luck that they hope for. So it's pretty crazy to see, and I know why. I've been here so many times, and the racetrack is just such a difficult place to find your marks and get comfortable. And the second you think you're comfortable, then you go out and everything's upside down, and it's a very difficult racetrack. So it's cool to see that the money doesn't always win here. Curtis Jerry won this race a couple of times. Just pulling a 20-foot bumper pull trailer with a rusty half-ton pickup truck. So It's pretty cool to see that stuff like that can still happen.
Isn't that really? I mean, I'm glad you said that right there because this sport can be so humbling. But when you get to an event like this, with the magnitude of it and the star power that is now realizing how big this event is, it's kind of got to be. I mean, at the same time, it sucks. But at the same time, kind of cool when you see some folks come in and they get humbled just a little bit. That old humble pie from time to time, something that kind of, in racing can kind of bring you back down to reality.
Oh yeah, totally. And we've all been there. We've all had a taste of it, and it's definitely an interesting way to test your ability to work through things because it's not an easy thing to come to a racetrack where you have run good before and just get your butt kicked and for no reason. Like sometimes there just is no reason. You just that wasn't your day. And it's that simple, especially here at Oxford. Like it just sometimes more often than not it just is not your day. So kind of humbling, like you said, and it makes you if you can make it through it, it makes you a better race car driver. It makes you work on your cars better. Overall, it helps with everything.
Derek, how much of this, I mean, obviously, being prepared, I mean, having, doing your homework, I mean, having a good car, all of that, but how much of it, when you get into a race like this, the mental part, I think that is so undersold with people because they don't get it when it comes to events, these big events like this in short track racing, the mental part of this, you talk about it in cup racing and all this different stuff, but man, that right there, I mean, your mind can do some really crazy things to you in a weekend like this.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially it's Thursday, we're not racing until Sunday, so you got plenty of time to get in your head and kind of lose your way for sure. But for me, it's always I just get when I'm nervous, I get calm. I don't know why. It's always been like something that just happens to me, and there's no reason for it. But I can tell a lot of people that come here, they get worked up. You're starting seventh in a heat race where they take the top four to advance, and you don't have a provisional, and you get desperate, and you kind of get in your head. Whereas if you stay a little bit more calm and make some better decisions, it'll help you all around. But easier said than done. I mean, we're competing at a level that's so hard to do. There's going to be probably around 25 people to 30 people that go home and don't make it in. So that's it's a pretty hard thing to swallow for a lot of people, and makes people do crazy things. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So like I said, though, plenty of time to kind of get in your head and lose your mind.
So talk about it for you. I mean, because all of us, no matter what we're doing, I mean, you guys driving, I mean, crew members, we're all race fans. I mean, that's really what we are. And like I was saying right there, and I was talking last week and throughout the month, to where me being down south, I always heard about the 250 and never really realized the magnitude until we were able to do stuff like this, to where I could actually get, my head wrapped around everything. Just talk about it for you as a race fan, because that's what we are. Just kind of talk about what the 250 means to you, because it really is. It's a big damn deal.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, it's the 50th anniversary of this race running, and it's been won by every big name there is to win. You know, Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, Junior Hanley, I think, has come up here and won one. You know, there's dozens and dozens of names that have been involved with this race over the years, and it's just really cool. It's our crown jewel. It's our Northeast crown jewel, and there's been plenty of other races up here that are a big deal, but never to the magnitude. I think arguably the last 10 years or so, maybe it hasn't been as big as a snowball derby, but I think before it was just as big, if not bigger. So it's pretty dang cool to see everyone come up here and everyone put on a show. I mean, there's 350 campers, 400 campers here. They're partying right now, so it's pretty dang cool to see how excited everyone gets. And I'll tell you, if you've never been able to watch one in person, there's nothing like it. There's absolutely nothing like watching a 40-car field at a racetrack like this run 3 and 4 wide, and some people are on tires and other people are not on tires, and there's so much strategy involved, and it's just so dang cool to watch and be a part of it. It's a very, very special race.
It is really cool to me that we do have now, in 2023, talking about everything up north. And I know that we have you guys, you gravitate, you go north, south, east, and west and all of that. But it really does seem like that we do have, again, from maybe back in the old school days, where you got the north and then you got the south and all of that. Kind of feels like old school a little bit now that we kind of have that happening again.
Oh yeah, totally. And it was so cool. Like, I remember going to watch those north-south shootout races that were at like Concord, and they ran a couple other races down there, and I'd always thought that was such a cool idea. And now that there's some of these more national touring series that are taking off, I'm sure there's definitely going to be some more races, up north and down south that are sanctioned under the same sanction embodied and have the same rule set that makes sense for everyone. It's just a matter of time. And I think that will be really cool because, like you said, there's a little bit of like a rivalry, It's like who's the best and who's not there's so many. We're competitive, we don't race because we're not competitive. We're ultra competitive. That's all we know is to go fast and try to win and be the best, and that's a pretty cool thing to do for your region or an area that you come from, and there's a lot of pride New Englanders, just like there's a lot of pride Southern boys that all want to race against each other. So hopefully next couple of years that'll be a lot more common.
So I got to ask you now, DG, you've got Thursday out of the way. Obviously, a very good Thursday for you. So now here we go. I mean, it's the meat of the sandwich. Now it's time to go. I mean, now you have Friday. So do you feel? I mean, after today, after a good day today, do you feel? Obviously, you don't lack confidence, but is it a lot of confidence? Is there a little bit of nervousness? Do you go back and how much do you want to do with the race car? I mean, because you seem to be in a pretty good spot. I mean, that's got to be kind of trying right now where you're like, okay, shit, I think I'm pretty good. But so kind of the thought with all of that.
Yeah, definitely. We just got to keep up with the racetrack. It changes so much. There's so much stuff that can happen from now to then. So hopefully it's not going to be a total crazy weekend where it flip-flops day to day, but this car's never been here before, so that's a huge bonus when you can roll it out of the trailer and be the fastest car here. That's just a pretty good feeling for sure. So I think our confidence in the car and everything is really high. I've been so close to getting one of these things a couple times and just hasn't been my day. So we'll see. Just like I said earlier, it's you got to be lucky and good to win this race, and Not very often do you get both. So
Yeah.
hopefully we are both this weekend, and we're going to come out with a good finish, and everyone will be happy.
That's right. Lastly, let me ask you this. So you mentioned all the folks that are already there. That right there. I mean, I know you guys when you're doing what you do, you can't fixate on folks being there, and a lot of times you can't spend time with the fans or whatever. But got to be pretty damn cool that you got all these people coming to see you guys. That it's got to be a pretty special feeling for you.
Oh yeah, definitely. And we're just, it's cool. It makes you feel like, like you're on the higher levels.
That's right.
When you drive around on Sunday and the grandstands are full, the pits are full, the boxes up top are full. It's not very common. You see that, and short track racing is what at one point was a dying breed. It was a dying sport. And I will say the last handful of years, I think it's far from dying. I think it's flourishing. The people are out. People are out racing. People are out watching racing. It's a very, very awesome thing to see. It turned around. I didn't think that super late models would be a division that lasted much longer.
Yep.
If they kept going down the path that they were going 5-10 years ago, and to see a 60-something car field getting ready to fire off for Sunday, that's pretty cool to see, and they're flourishing everywhere too. The car counts are up, and everyone's up, and I'm probably going to go mingle with some fans here in a little bit at the bar with the bar. I got a band playing and everything over at the bar, so we'll go hang out with them and have a couple beers and hang out.
That's right. Might as well, my man. Might as well. Good day today, man. Thank you for doing this. I know you got a lot going on. Best of luck this weekend, man. I'm looking forward to watching your progress. I'll be checking in, and man, go get you one, dude. You've been so close. Go get you one. Get this thing taken care of, my man.
My pleasure. Let's try to get it done.
Absolutely. Take care.
Thanks.
You bet.
Yeah.
There he goes, Derek Griffith, and as I mentioned, the fastest man at Oxford Plains today, and it's practice day, but the whole thing, looking at that, I think I saw over 30 some odd cars that were out on the racetrack, and for him, that's got to be a really good start to the weekend for him. But again, like I wanted to ask him that question because it's the anticipation, and so much of it is the driver psyche as you kind of move forward with the weekend. It's like, okay, we were really good on Thursday, and then if for some reason you're not good on Friday, what does that do to the mindset? Because that really is so much of what we see, and I do want to talk about that because I know I've talked about it so many different times on the program here before, here on Dirty Air, is to where I am a child of the old days of ASA and All Pro, and that was really when you had the two different series right now, and I know that we have, with super late models. People say we have two super late model series. No, we don't. We have a hell of a lot more than two super late model series. We have two. We have the ASA Southern Super Series and the ASA Group and SRL that grab all the headlines. But when you look at all the stuff happening up north, whether it be, CRA and all of that, there are so many. There are so many more. So what Derek is talking about right there, to me, with the state of super late model racing being what it is right now, because it really is. It really did seem to me. I will totally agree with what he was talking about right there. And you guys, we're live. You feel free to chime in right there and tell me what you're thinking. I did think at one point that it was going to be something to where it. Something that was not going to be able to sustain itself, and maybe it was going to fall away, and maybe it was going to be a pro late model that kind of took the helm right here and kind of drove this, and the pro late model became the late model, which a lot of times when people would tell me that, it's like, and I love the pro late models. I love the pro late models, but there really is only one super late model. And I don't give a damn what series it is. There really is only one super late model, and the pro late models are amazing. And I mean, it's like over on the dirt side. I mean, here in Texas, we've got IMCA modifieds that are really struggling, it seems like, and a lot of folks are really wanting to give a sport mod or a limited modified or whatever you want to call it, want to give them the mantle right there, and it's like, no, I'm sorry, there is only one. There's only one super late model. There's really only one dirt late model, and there's really only one modified on dirt. And that's where it really is cool to me. I know there's a lot of work to do. I know there's a lot of work to do to get the things figured out between all the different sanctioning bodies and to figure out rules that are going to work for everyone. But I really do think that we're going down the right path. And when you have, like he said, like DG said, when you have almost 70 that are heading to Oxford Plains for the 50th annual Oxford 250. And I don't think it matters if it's the 50th, the 48th, the 72nd. I don't really think it matters what number that race is. I just think that it's a race where people want to go race that. And one of the coolest things is going to be, and we'll talk to Phil about this here in just a minute, is to watch these guys race the racetrack, because that's where, I mean, we see it at the Derby where you got to race the racetrack. You got to be smart with the tires. I mean, you see it at all these racetracks. I mean, I know in my time at Mobile, when we would have the SRL races there at Mobile, it was a matter of racing the racetrack, racing the tires, and doing all these different things. And that's what really makes these huge Triple Crown super late model races so cool, is that yeah, they're racing each other, but man, there's a lot more that's going on with all of that. So thanks to Derek Griffith, DG12 fastest today. I promise you that's going to be a dude that you're going to be wanting to watch if you're checking out the coverage. And again, if you're checking in on the Racing America feed, you've got coverage today and tomorrow, and then you can pay-per-view. There is a $10 discount there if you bundle all this thing up. Additional information at racingamerica.com, racingamerica.tv. Coming up, we dig in the Dirty Air man with boots on the ground at Oxford Plains all week. My brother Phil Whipple is going to check in and give us all the details of everything that he has seen so far and give us his race preview. Clean air is good. Times like this, Thursdays, Dirty Air is just a tad bit better. You guys stick around. More coming up.
If sending your firstborn off to college brings a tear to your eye, but only because she's taking the convertible with her, then CarQuest Auto Parts is for you. If you've ever heard last call at an auto parts store, then CarQuest is for you. That's because CarQuest Auto Parts is for those who really know and care about their car. For all your steering and suspension needs, install Moog Parts, the choice of professional technicians. CarQuest is serious auto parts. Visit CarQuest.com.
Die Hard. Good choice.
Only one I trust.
Imagine if everything had the reliability, durability, power of Die Hard. Die Hards choose Die Hard, and they get it at Advance Auto Parts.
Friends, it's Rodney for Rogers Dab Chevrolet, GM Performance, lowest price in the nation. That graphic is sitting up there, and that is not something that I'm trying to make you think that isn't the truth. If you don't believe me, test me. Test me. Shop those engines around, and then you can message me and let me know. Well, I'll be damned, Rodney. You were right. You were right. Rogers Dab Chevrolet, Brandon, Mississippi, lowest price in the nation for those 602 and 604 GM sealed crate engines. And you need to reach out to them. No matter what you're looking for, whether it be an asphalt dirt truck or an asphalt dirt truck, an asphalt truck, a dirt truck. We have a lot of those in Texas, whether it's one of these factory stocks or a modified, whatever you're looking to do, and you need one of those 602s or 604. I know that the crate late models, I'll be a part of this massive event coming up at Jackson Motor Speedway over Labor Day weekend, September 1st and 2nd. It'll be the All-American 60. Looking forward to being there, a part of that one. The 12th annual Rogers Dabs, for crying out loud, All-American 60. That's going to be happening there. Would love to see all of you guys out there. Come on by and say hi. But super good stuff, GM Performance. And not only that, I mean, the drivetrain stuff, just GM Performance parts. If that's what you're looking for and you want it authentic GM, you need to get a hold of my friends right there at Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet, GM Performance. They're going to take care of you. And by all means, let them know that me, good old Double R, tell them you heard about it right here on Dirty Air. Woo, talking to Derek Griffith right there, fastest man on the racetrack at Oxford Plains today. Welcome back to Dirty Air. My name is Rodney Rodriguez. The Southerner, all fixated and excited about the Oxford 250. You can check out this program on RodneyRodriguezRacing.com, all of your audio podcasts. Of course, this baby jams live on Racing America each and every Thursday, following Cars Tour weekly with my ladies, Jess Ballard and J.D. Boucher. Welcome back in as we take you into a full race weekend, getting you ready for college football. I had a couple of different messages about, I'm wearing my Texas shirt. You know, I know I got all my kinfolk in Alabama. Here in a couple of weeks, we're going to have Roll Tide versus Hook 'em Horns. I'm assuming that's going to be a whole lot of fun. That's in Tuscaloosa. Man, I wish I could make that one. But all of that coming up, but we still have a lot of racing to go throughout the rest of the season. I like to call this big race season because as we start diving in, you know, right here towards the end of everything, that's where, whether it be on pavement or asphalt or pavement or dirt, you're going to get a lot of big races, and we got a lot of them in the state of Texas. I'll have a little bit of a trophy dash coming up a little bit later on in the show, but it's going to be altered a little bit because I do have an announcement to make. I think some of you know what it is, but y'all are wrong. It ain't what you think it is, but we'll deal with that a little bit later on. All right, back to the hotline, Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet GM Performance Hotline. And this is the dude that I'm most jealous of right now because, number one, I'm supposed to be with him at the Oxford 250, but shit happens, and I'm saying that right here live on this program, but that's okay. I live vicariously through him. He has pumped so much information into this network, into everything that the show is, and man, he is still doing it, and he is on the case. My man, Whippy, Phil Whipple, dude, kid in a candy store right now, aren't you?
Yes, that's a pretty good way to put it. A guy who's thought nothing about other than the Oxford 250, this particular one, the 50th, for the last 2 to 3 years, to have it arrive, to be sitting in the pits this afternoon in the warm sun with Deborah, to be seeing the cars blast by, to be talking to the big wheels, to be placing decals, my own brand decals on the fastest cars on the track. No, to do the things I was doing today, yeah, I'm a kid in a candy store. That big thing has arrived, and before I get rolling, Rodney, I need to say, what better, more articulate, well-spoken young man to get direct insight from right at the track than the young man you just had the privilege of speaking with. Wasn't Mr. Griffith candid, and wasn't it nice to hear his insight on really what this event is all about?
Phil, and once again, thank you for setting that up, and I'll tell you what, you're I mean, you set that up, and boom, here he is. I mean, he's the man today, but yeah. I mean, if that were me, I would be. I'd probably be bouncing off the walls. Hell, I'm bouncing off the walls right now, and I'm not anywhere near you guys. He really is good. And talk about that dude. He and this again goes back to the great drivers in that area. This is a guy that's so well spoken and just a consummate professional. It seems to be the common theme that I see about so many of these race drivers up there.
He is. He's the perfect example of the polished young modern day short track racer. I don't go to him. I didn't go to him for years when I wrote for the Sun Journal for nothing because he was a cool kid. I did get because he was and still is so well spoken and so darn good behind the wheel. He's that total package, and we all know it. Obviously, he would have never had the opportunities on the national scale, at the national level, ARCA, NASCAR trucks, all the stuff that he's had, and he's so gifted in the whole package, and so that's why I picked him, dude. I really thought, this could very well be. They didn't seem to, they almost had him in a B tier on the bull ring, but man, I've got Derek at the top of my list. No dark horse, no nothing, just probably this is going to be his year. And then they never really, I don't think, touched much on DJ Shaw, man. You know, DJ never won this thing. The family, that's a hidden, unspoken burden on that whole family. 3 generations of Shaw that hasn't won this thing. Old DJ and his father, legendary father Dale, they're about sick of hearing people asking, when's the Shaw going to win the Oxford 250? These are things that, these are legends up here. There are so many storylines, Rodney Rodriguez, that you and I could touch on right now. We just don't have time, but we'll touch on some because it's the 50th, and the way the track owner spoke yesterday at the press conference, brother, about all of a sudden that's now weighing on him and his son who run the place, him and Mike, the Mayberry's brother. Don't you think they're aware that they are now shepherds? They are now the hosts of the 50th annual. They find themselves thinking back with the thing that Bob Bear created. You saw my feature, the thing that Bob Bear created, and Mike Liberty and Bill Ryan and all the guys before them, and the ups and downs and the evolution of this race. But now it's still alive and thriving, and here they are at the helm. And say what you want about them, and you think if you misjudge Tom's appreciation of the history of this thing, please don't, because all I did was, you know it, Rodney, all I did was walk up, and I don't get to go there anymore and say, man, we got to do something special on this history thing. And you know what I proposed, and he went with the whole thing, and here I am. I don't even get to go there anymore, and I waltz in now. Sunday, suddenly I'm under the microscope and the spotlight interviewing the New England legends and the giants of the 250 history. And man, am I ever proud of it, kid. The buzz about having the great, who you knew your new best friend, Dave Dion. Buzz about having the Dion brothers, Rodney, walk around the pits and stuff Sunday, or going around and stuff. And the racers like Trevor Sanborn says, shit, the Dion brothers are coming. They're all lit up about the Dions coming to the 250. And it's just going to, when Jamie Yobi and the Joey Karofis and those guys are going around, it'll add to the intensity, you know, because now all the big legends are strolling among them. And these young drivers, these cats today, even old Mike Rowe say, boy, pretty special if I could win the 50th with all these guys here. And all. It's going to be a special day, Rodney. I know I say that a lot, and they say, listen to Whipple go on about this thing. It's for a reason, you know. Derek will tell you it's for a reason, because it's a huge monumental event, and I can hardly wait. I think Sunday's going to be probably the biggest short track day of my life, my entire career.
And Phil, I've been wanting to ask you this, and I haven't given you any hint that I'm going to ask you this, because it's something that I knew that we were going to do this preview, and I purposely wanted to wait to ask you this. For you, I mean, all of your time there, I mean, the work that you have done, I mean, you've written so many great pieces about this. To you, and to a lot of folks there, this is no secret how fucking great this race is. Sorry, I can say that on here. It's no secret. But the fact now, like I was talking about with Dion last week, you know, when I would read about it in Stock Car Racing Magazine and Circle Track and all this, and Speed Sport and all this different stuff. The fact now that we are at a point to where everybody else realizes how great this race is, and you get people coming in from all over the country. For you, you've been a lifer at this thing. Talk about that gratification, dude, because this has got to be something for you where, you know, late at night you're like, people finally realize how great this race is.
Well, it adds to the punch. It adds to my satisfaction each time someone new says to me, man, you guys really do have something going on there. Yeah. You know, each time a Bobby Chaffee or any example of that says, boy, y'all got quite an event up there, feel. And anytime anybody asks me more and learns or acknowledges that, yes, it's wildly rewarding and gratifying, because I've kind of known since, the late Henry Frank Whipple took me in 1979 over the mountain from Vermont there, and we checked out what the 6th annual Oxford 250 said the Bob Bear is going to have. Better go over to Maine, check that out. And we did, and holy shit, I've known since then. It was a pretty big thing going on. That was, of course, the Midsummer Classic, they called it then, because that was always in mid-July there, and for most of its life, the mighty Oxford 250 was on a Sunday night in July, a hot, muggy Sunday night in hell for a lot of years, but they never started qualifying until 5 p.m. on Sunday nights. The thing I could go on and on about this thing, it's just has so much history and so many different details about the history, but yeah, now to hear all these people saying, boy, Phil, that really is something. And you guys seem to be really stoked. That no wonder you're celebrating the 50th the way you are. You're damn right. Like Buddy Guy says, you're damn right I got the blues. Well, I will tell you, you're damn right we're excited about the 50th anniversary of this thing, because the history is beyond description.
Oh, man. that is so awesome. I'm so excited for you, Phil. I do want to ask you. So many storylines that are going into this one. I mean, folks that haven't been able to win it or whatever. But I've got to ask you about this one because I saw this today and I'm like, oh man, here we go. How about this Max Cooks and Bubba Pollard thing? You've got these guys that teammates. Dude, I didn't see that one. I was curious. I know Bubba's got something to do tonight in Missouri at I-44, and always wondered how he was going to do that. I've been through this before with Bubba, but man, didn't see that one coming. How about that? That's a great story.
That's a huge story. It sent me into orbit today, and I didn't go approach Chris Mass's dad and start getting details out of them. They were pretty busy hustling them two cars around. Obviously, the big man weren't around to run the 26 today, but yeah, everybody's sitting there looking, okay, there's a 26 identical to Max's over there, and it's got that name Pollard over the door. Said, you know who's flying in to run that sumbitch on Sunday, don't you? And I said, yeah, kind of looking that way now. I think it might have been really on the border, brother, as to whether or not he could pull it off. He could get here and do it, and so they haven't published a whole lot about it. And yesterday a guy said, yeah, just get off the phone with Bubba's crew chief. He ain't going to come in. He ain't coming. He's withdrawing his entry. And of course, we all just, our faces hit the ground because just to think that Pollard wasn't coming was crushing. And really, I really questioned it because he had told me personally to my face on a couple of occasions here that, Phil, long as I can afford to, man, I'm going to be back and run this race every year that I can because I just love it so much here. And not just running the 250. You know, Roddy, Bubba Pollard feels like home cooking burgers and having beers out back with the 250 folks. He thrives on the fan atmosphere at this race. And so I wouldn't be surprised. It kind of looks to me right now like the Bubster, the kid is king from Sonoya, Georgia, will be in a duplicate Cookson car. And you know Cookson has set the world on fire with them cars he's got. And so Bubba hops in that thing and he gets comfortable right off on Sunday morning. And man, that 26 that looks like Max's rig. And the kid, imagine that, the veteran from Georgia and then young Max Cookson, who's lit the world on fire with hardly any few years of seat time here. What a side-by-side duel that would be at the front of the field, Rodney Rodriguez.
Well, and I got to tell you, Phil Whipple, this is one of the things when I'm talking about this north-south thing. I mean, when I talk about how everything has evolved, man, you wouldn't have seen that in the past where you get a north hot shoe and a south hot shoe, and boom, here they are, and they're trying to work on something together. I mean, that right there, talk about evolution of this little game that we like to call super late model racing. How about that? Pretty impressive there.
It is impressive. No, you wouldn't have seen it in the past. And I think it's neat from a couple different angles. One is that you guys touch on the rivalry thing and begin to touch on it, Alan Deeth and Jess Ballard, who I really like that pairing, by the way. They did a heck of a job on, and I did record by the way. They did a nice job. I like that pairing. They touched on it. You know, it's yeah, that's a heck of a combination, and that rivalry business, that's coming back. That's what fueled the growth of this thing in the history, obviously, was its early days. Hell, for a long time, it was a combination Busch North and South Points race. Mm-hmm. And before that, there's a lot of Southerners coming. So we've had that North versus South rivalry for decades within it. And so now you're getting a little bit of that back. So each time that Bubba comes, you reestablish that, and you kind of still have that Canadians versus New Englanders. And oh, by the way, that particular rivalry may provide another interesting piece of drama this year, brother, because remember the little Spinnerooski in the incident last year, they just showed the footage you get on the bull ring of young Cole Butcher getting into the back, giving a little shot in the shorts, as Zach Clark likes to say, to Johnny Clark, en route to victory in this race last year. And so you got a little potential clash there coming too. Johnny, if he with the shoes on the other foot, you know, Johnny knows how to use the chrome horn if he has to, and so it's going to be interesting there too. But that Canada versus New England thing, throw a Southern element into it too, and someday I hope the Midwesterners wake up and bring their cars over and start running too, because this thing, you think it's been killer the first 50, man, the next 10 could be killer too. As they begin to, Derek hinted at that more and more unison. And your dream, Rodney, of a national rules package, and having all the regions contest together within an SLN thing, isn't it nice to hear a young man like Griffith say that may not be too many years down the road? I'm
glad somebody finally buys into that, because every one of the series operators that I mentioned that to, they tell me that I'm stupid. So no, I'm glad. I'm glad that and I think it's possible. So Phil, let's talk about this race. I mean, we're almost 70 that are going to be a part of this. you're going to have the favorites. I mean, this is so weird looking at this package, at this entry list, because you got the favorites, and then you've got the dark horses and all of that. Then you got every freaking body else. I mean, and I think one of the coolest parts, like Derek was talking about, so much of this is racing the race and racing the racetrack, because I know Pensacola is what it is. All these speed plants are what they are. But Phil, you know it better than anybody else. This little baby right here, this is something else.
This is, and man, am I glad that you are catching on to all these details and factoids and tidbits of what we do up here. But first, it was you grasped the respect element of what we do up here, and that's huge. That's a big part of the longevity and success here. Now you're understanding the key to our showcase and premier event, and that's exactly it. It's the finicky 3/8 mile egg-shaped oval that is Oxford Plains Speedway. It is an ever-changing, finicky SOB. And you're right, Sanborn, Griffith, all them, Ben, all them guys that you've talked to and will talk to again multiple times in the future, they will tell you, man, you're just staying up with this place through clouds and showers and sun and heat and wind, just staying up with this. I know dirt we talk about, buddy, on the other side, on the rough side, the ever-changing track surface affecting what they do on the dirt side. But man, at Oxford, particularly at Oxford, that's one paved oval where it is an ever-changing animal. And so, yeah, the good guys, man, the guys that come out successful here this Sunday night will be the ones who can adapt to all that. And, we have we touched on the topic of what weather is going to do and has? You know why we even were at the track today? Yeah, tomorrow we're gonna lose all on-track activity, probably 90% chance of close to an inch of rainfall. So gonna wash all that rubber right off, and then Saturday the showers might linger. And so realistically, those 250 cars, they might not be back on track again, Rodney, realistically until Sunday morning.
Holy moly. My goodness.
Yeah, I knew that. So I knew that'd be a reaction. And so suddenly, whereas a lot of guys didn't place a tremendous, you look at it, you sit here, racing monitor in front of you like I'm doing on my tablet. Yeah. There's 35 names on that list, but you'll see that only 29 took time. And brother, yeah. I pinned Tom down yesterday about that entry number, and I said, what are we really going to have here attempting to qualify? He said, realistically, Phil, probably going to be about 62. And so you had less than half of them show today for that practice. And now what if the weather really does turn to shit? And I know it's going to tomorrow. I'm no weatherman, but I know it's going to tomorrow. There will be no on-track activity. They're going to lose all their Friday night program. And Saturday is off and on showers and shit. Wow. If that system, that trough stalls like it typically does, the maritime effect off the mighty Atlantic, if that just stalls, we'll get showers lingering into Sunday. In fact, there might now be a series of showers going through Sunday afternoon. And so that's going to throw a whole another kink into this whole thing. And suddenly you'll have guys that were, hey, we're pretty quick. We got a good hot rod today. And then it's all going to change come Sunday morning. And so the pressure to get reacclimated, if you will, and readjusted to that track on Sunday morning. And then pressure time, 1:30 p.m., the 6 heats, the 3 consies, and the LCQ. You got to make it your way into this thing, race your way into this thing. Suddenly that's going to be pretty dramatic, Rodney. So when I tell you how much I miss having you, I'm going to have you, not having you beside me for this, to witness this whole thing. And, we'll start in the mornings at about 50 degrees and top out at 68. I just wish, someday, brother, someday you've got to be here with me for this. It really is a spectacle, Rodney.
Phil, I just want to go there for 2 reasons. Number one, I don't know what it's like to have cool temperatures. And number 2, I don't know what rain is. So that would be really great. 104 today, once again over here. But anyway, the other thing I do want to ask you about, and again, you'll be, we can, Phil, we may do another live, especially if we get in weather delays and all this, we can turn this thing on anytime, dude. If we want to do some live stuff during the weekend, you let me know. My wife is out of town. I have nothing else to do but watch you guys up there. So a very good thing in that respect. I do want to ask you, one of the things Derek said, and again, I've never been there, but it really feels like to me, just from what he was talking about, kind of feels like the Indianapolis 500 for you guys up there. I mean, talking about the folks out in the campground, rain's not going to stop anybody. We know this. You could have a torrential flood, and people are going to be hanging around. Just kind of talk about the vibe, as the young kids say, even today, as we're this early into the weekend.
No, the vibe is so positive. Derek talked about it as he was getting ready to go here. The first is, it was going to be a couple hours of karaoke over in the corner there, the Mighty Turn one with the Crash Pad Lounge where we met yesterday for Media Day. That's a nice little venue over there in that corner outside of Turn 1 there. They're gathering there right now. A couple hours of karaoke, that a band playing from 8 to 11. The amount of campers, even yesterday when I rolled in for Media Day, brother, the whole front row, the length of the front stretch parking lot deal, that's all filled in already. And then out back, my Lord, the only thing preventing the numbers being higher, we usually get like 700 campers on the property, but we've had so much rain all year. Right, a prime area right across from the drag strip pits that is now being used for prime camping for competitors and crew chiefs. Right across from that in the field out behind the place, that's all swamp. That's all cordoned off with stakes and stuff. It's all like muck and oh my God, have we had a lot of rain. I know you guys in Texas hate like hell to hear that, but we've had like 2 feet of rain this summer, and it's inundated. There's mosquitoes, there's bugs, there's places you can't even drive. I got friends, Farrington, who you're going to talk to soon, his mower's still stuck in his backyard, dude, because we've had so much rain. He went down in a little sag and he can't get it back. How bad are the other things? He's got to pull it out. So we've had a lot of water, and there's standing water all over the place up there. Now, I think there's a foot of water in the slope out behind turns 3 and 4. So we've had a lot of rain this year. We don't need any more rain. Do not need another inch of rain tomorrow, I can tell you that much. But as you said, Mr. Rodriguez, shit happens, right?
Yeah. Well, I think that only intensifies what we're going to be seeing on the racetrack on Sunday, hopefully. When you wash the rubber off and all of that, limited practice, I think that's something that could make some really cool things. Lastly, Phil, I know it's hard. Again, just kind of talking about the entry list and everything that we have in this 50th annual Oxford 250. Favorites going in, and obviously for you, kind of two-sided question. The favorites looking at everything, and then for you as a longtime northerner there being a part of this, the guys that haven't been able to win this, the heartfelt favorites, kind of your list on that as we dive in here.
Absolutely. Thank you for asking. It's tough, buddy, but I have thought about it some in recent days here and given it some thought. The guy that's probably got a really good shot is the guy you just talked to. Griffith's probably leading the list, not just because he's fast today, but because the cars he runs, the way he's turned his program around this year. And I asked him this afternoon, what's turned the corner for you? And it just his answer and his confidence level. He's during that struggling time, they were pretty down at LCM, but they're not. Griffith is the favorite, but the sentimental deal, of course, the family that's never won the thing, and the kid could very well pull it off. Hell, he's a 5-time Fast North champion, DJ Shaw. But you watch DJ Sunday night, and I'm thinking the 12G, the 60. Cookson will shock people and probably pull off a top 5. Hell, he may hit the podium. The kid is that good. He's progressed so quickly. And you got Austin Terrio coming back to it. And you got the great Kelly Moore's son, Ryan Moore up from North Carolina. That boy can really race. Like I said, there's so many storylines, more than we could do. We'll have to do some stuff this weekend, buddy, and I'll have to get some interviews with some of these people because you've got second and generation racers here that we haven't even touched on yet. Johnny Clark is all geared up. Hell, Jeff Taylor's back, and that's a 9-time Oxford champion who has sworn if it's the last thing he does before he dies is going to win a goddamn Oxford 250. Only thing he hasn't done at this place. And Jeff Taylor could very well shock the shit out of everybody, even though he only races once a year to go after this thing. The man knows how to get around the place. How he does distance race cars, still the fastest, most consistent brand of chassis at Oxford Plains Speedway. Period. And so Jeff could do it. I'll go with Griffith. And man, Sanborn's quick. Sanborn with Moody, and he's in I think a Fury car now or something. That guy, you should see him in action and his team today working through practice and hustling around. I watched them boys in action today. Trevor Sanborn will probably be on the podium in this thing Sunday night, and I don't want to curse him, but we've got some talent, young guns that you've spoken with this year already, and they're really going to be contenders, Rodney. It's going to be an exciting show. I'll put my money on Derek, and if not, DJ, I guess, to answer your question, my friend. Man,
I love it. Yeah. Let's definitely fire up the YouTube machine during the weekend and maybe do some stuff, especially if you have downtime. I think that would be a really cool thing. Phil, man, I
will. And let me take a minute to thank you too, buddy, for almost a month now. You've opened up to my world and dove into this thing a little more than I thought you would. I want to publicly thank you, Rodney, for your interest in the history of the 250 and what really goes into it. and talking to all these heroes of mine. You've talked to some heroes of mine and made friends with them as well, and some modern day racers who are very top notch, Ben and Derek and all these guys. Thanks for diving into this whole world with me this month. You put a lot of time and effort and work into it, and I'm not the only one that's satisfied with it. A lot of folks up here appreciate your effort way down there, or the level of interest you showed. Those guys are more than happy to speak with you on these programs because it gains extra exposure for them, and they like chatting with you, buddy. They know racing and stuff. So for me personally, thank you, Rodney, for what you've done.
Phil, thank you, my man. I got to tell you, man, you have been you've been a godsend to me in a lot of different ways. But I mean, especially with this month and just everything that you've done on both of these shows. I mean, it's like you and Joe Spillman. You make me seem like I know what I'm talking about with racing up north. Joe Spillman has made me seem like I know what the hell I'm talking about with dirt track racing. So it's guys like that. We're a team. I mean, it's one team, one fight. We're just trying to grow this sport and trying to make it the best that it can be. And I'll be damned, man. You have been amazing. And like I said, I'm jealous, and my it was a kick in the nuts that I couldn't get to go see you this weekend. But man, I know you're going to have a great weekend, and I cannot wait to do this more in depth as we dive into the weekend. Because when you mention the weather, that's a whole brand new storyline right there. So it's gonna be cool. I can't wait to dive more into it this weekend.
Well, thank you, Rodney. Plan on hearing from me throughout the weekend with live from the track updates. Again, Justin and Alan did a great job, and I can't wait to see Alan again up here when he gets up here, man. I don't think she's coming this time, but I'm so looking forward to seeing Alan Dietz again and hearing him do his thing on the headset. And yeah, one day you'll get to enjoy it. And thanks again for the time this evening, the opportunity. I look forward to speaking with you off and on throughout the weekend, my friend.
That Alan Dietz, he's a good dude, I'll tell you.
Short Track America, I'll tell you what, he knows how it's done up there at Oxford Plains. We can't wait to have him back. I love him like a brother, and you're a valued colleague as well, Rodney. Thanks ever so much again for your interest. It's been a real pleasure.
You bet. Take care, Phil. We'll talk to you a little bit later on, man.
All right, my friend. Thank you, and good night now.
You bet. There he is, live from, I mean, he's right there. I mean, he's been in the middle of this whole thing throughout the week, and he really has. I mean, he has been so valuable to me with everything that he's been able to put together for me. I mean, to get to talk to the folks that he is. And I did have some folks, I have had a few folks that reach out to me, and it's like, man, you're really getting into the North thing over there. I mean, being able to put together interviews with some of these folks, and it's like, man, Phil is actually the one that, it's kind of one of those things to where Phil throws me up some softballs, and it's up to me to get these guys to be able to want to come back on. And Phil has done that, and he has done that so graciously, and he's done it so well. And I cannot wait. And we're going to be blowing up the YouTube throughout the weekend with more coverage. So you guys subscribe to RPM Multimedia or the Rodney Rodriguez Racing Facebook page or whatever it is. I don't even know right now. I'm so thrown off. But I'm excited, man. I just wish I was there. And I wish I was there because it's raining, and it don't rain in Texas, y'all. It don't rain in Texas. Thank you to the friends that reached out to me asking if the hurricane hit. No, man, I ain't nowhere near the coast. I live in the suburbs. Ain't nothing like that coming around here. All right. Trophy Dash is coming up. Just stick around a little bit longer. A little bit longer. You guys hang out. Hell, I ain't got much longer. I got to do a fantasy football draft here coming up in just a little bit, but got some news for you guys. Somebody actually even sent me a message this week and said, hey, hopefully that big news is you're not doing the show anymore. Come on, man. Sorry, you're stuck with me. But I'll have that for you coming up. Stick around. Clean air is good. Times like this, dirty air just a tad bit better.
Whether it's trucks, muscle cars, or miles per gallon, CarQuest, we do it all.
Episode 56, Dirty Air, if you're catching it on the podcast. Dirty Air with Rodney Rodriguez, Rodney Rodriguez Racing, Rodney Rodriguez Racing.com, Rodney Rodriguez Sports.com. And, of course, you catch it live on Racing America each and every Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, right after the dynamic duo, my ladies, Jess Ballard, J.D. Boucher, and then here I come. Hey, great program. Derek Griffith, a part of the show tonight as he sets forth on his journey to try to win his first ever elusive Oxford 250. He's been so close, and then Phil Whipple checking in right there. And as Phil talked about, if you really want to look at folks that are in the mix, there's so many. I mean, there are just so many different folks that could be winners in this race. And I wasn't aware. I mean, I honestly had kind of been slacking a little bit right here, just kind of digging in to what all was going on there with the with the amount of cars and so forth that are going to be at the race. I didn't realize the weather was going to be an issue right there. So that in and of itself is something that could become an issue. So we'll follow that. And again, RPM Multimedia on Facebook. This page right here, we're gonna do some stuff during the weekend. We're gonna do some stuff during the weekend. Phil and I get you some good stuff. I do want to give you a little bit of a trophy dash. I'm excited that this weekend coming up, you will have the old Pensacola Mobile doubleheader. Pro late models, great opportunities right there for a lot of money on the line. For those two racetracks to be working hand in hand in unison. Yeah, I'm a little butthurt that I didn't get to work with Pensacola when we were there, but the bottom line is I'm just glad that they're working together, and that seems like that could be a pretty good weekend. Also on that card for Mobile International Speedway, you will have the Modifieds of Mayhem racing there at Mobile. Looks like a stacked field of all of those. Lots of money on the line this weekend there at Mobile. Congratulations to my man, Mr. Eddie Shoemaker, and everything that they've been able to put together there this year. Big super late model race tonight at I-44. Very excited there. Bubba Pollard, as we talked about, the big news, if you missed it, it looks like Bubba Pollard and Max Cookson have formed a tandem, and it'll be Bubba Pollard driving a team car there to Max Cookson in the Oxford 250 coming up. So very cool thing right there. All right. Lastly, I know that I posted yesterday on my page, and I know a lot of you guys follow me on Facebook where I was talking about racing again, and then that's a very true thing. I may be getting to do another race this year. And I appreciate folks that reach out and for whatever reason want me to drive their race cars. It's just because I talk well, not because I'm still a top-notch racer. But the news that I wanted to tell you guys tonight, and I'm very excited about this, hugely excited about this. So, a couple of weeks ago, I get a phone call from a very respected, we'll call him a colleague, and I get to go to a lot of cool races. This year has been very cool for me to get to go to the Rattler 250 and be a part of that with that group with the Ricky Brooks, and of course we had it here on Racing America, and my man Ryan McCullough. That was one of the. I go back and listen to that, and I'm like, that was really cool. So that was amazing. Getting to do all the races in Texas, obviously the Davidson Electric 125 that we did there at Mobile was a hell of a lot of fun and a great presentation, and that was great. Getting to go to the All-American 60 coming up with my partners at Rogers Dab Chevrolet that in next week. So that's really cool, doing some traveling. But this one right here, this one's pretty excited. So that phone call 2 weeks ago was from my man Tim Bryant, Five Flag Speedway. He said, "Hey man, you coming to the Derby?" I said, "I haven't missed it in a while, sir. He said, well, won't you join our announce team? Won't you be a part of the Derby? Come on out. We'll put a microphone in your hand. You can help our guys. Racing America is going to be there. I've talked to Alan Dietz, maybe helping them out as well. But going to the Derby this year, my friends, and hell, my ass is going to be working at the Derby. So be listening for me at the Snowball Derby. Super excited about that. It's going to be really cool. Really cool. Kind of one of those bucket list items that you cross off when you hit a path where you realize what you need to be doing. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So thank you to Tim Bryant and Tim and Pat and everyone there in Pensacola at that great facility that have allowed me to be a part of that. And I am very excited to say that I will see all of you guys at the end of November, first part of December. I'll see y'all at the Derby. And may not be able to drink as much beer with you guys because I'm going to be working. So, but I will catch up with you. I will catch up with you, and we will get into the dirty air. So, super excited to be a part of the Snowball Derby. Pretty cool. One of those things where, check it off the bucket list right there. I've got a list of a lot of different things that I'm constantly looking at. And that Derby has been at the top of it for a long time. So thank you, Tim. Thank you, Pat. And thank you to that announce team for allowing me to bump in there. Great program. You guys, you've got to check out the Oxford 250 coming up this weekend. You can catch it on Racing America. There's a subscriber bundle right there. It's going to save you about $10 on that. So check that out. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. If you're not doing that, find a short track somewhere and get yourself out there and be a part of one of the coolest damn things in the world, short track racing. Short track racing. Been a lot of fun. Thank you, Derek Griffith. Thank you, Phil Whipple. Thank you, all of you. All of the replays available on the Racing America Facebook page, RodneyRodriguezRacing.com, RPM Multimedia on the YouTube page. Guys, we'll do it again next Thursday. Clean air is good. Times like this each and every damn Thursday. Dirty air. Tad bit better. You guys be well.